Good evening, I am the Skeptic, and I begin this particular series analyzing Bronze Age horror classics like John Carpenter's Halloween to pose the question if they're still scary in today's society. To continue, let's look at the famous film about terror down south, where cannibalistic and sometimes cross-dressing hillbillies attack our unsuspecting characters in a delightful game of cat and mouse, where the cat plays with its food with power tools. I present to you the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We start off this classic with an eerily serious and realistic intro like that of a documentary, which was initially marketed as a true story.
The events of that day were to lead to the discovery of one of the most bizarre crimes in the annals of American history.
Bizarre crimes is right. We see some creepy pulsing red and black screens and hear digging sounds off screen, as well as a soundtrack inspired by ominous heavy machinery. We then see flashes of corpses played to whiny machinery sounds like a more suspenseful NCIS. Am I watching something I shouldn't be? And the build-up leads to this. Someone has been exhuming graves making Frankenart, as well as causing accidents to kill more people. Mystery established. But the saddest death in the whole movie, is this armadillo. Aww. And here is our victims cast for the night. Hairy chest, bareback, hexagon glasses, and a purple-shirted mean girl. Let's face it, they're all forgettable. Except for Franklin, who is awesome. He rocks those wheels. And has the most personality. But he's gonna die, no matter how much personality. You can read it all over his face. He's also the butt of too many jokes. Example here, when he tries taking a tinkle and tumbles down the hill due to a truck jump scare. This movie is like a commentary to say that anybody can be made fun of, but especially the handicapped. He's even called the invalid brother. What does that even mean? But screw them, Franklin. You're the best. Most of the time, but hey, none of us are perfect. Well, these characters are down in Texas because it was Franklin and Purple Shirt's family graves that were exhumed, so they came down to visit. And might as well visit the family home. Why not? There's a nice use of low angles in the tall grass, constantly giving the film a stalker vibe, similar to Michael Myers in Halloween, but more like the velociraptors in the tall grass scene in Lost World. And if you don't understand my reference, the point is tall grass equals bad. There's a fair use of still wide shots as well, like here where they approach the old overgrown family home as if setting the stage. Oh, and walking to orange sunsets, beautiful and somehow made ominous, but you'll see soon why, my darlings. But rewind first. Our cast drives by a slaughterhouse, which establishes as a parallel to their fates. Lol. Huh. Are they even driving? Not a lot of movement to the car, and outside the window is just white. Probably a white balance issue, but still, maybe a good inexpensive film technique. They then pick up this hitchhiker. Again, notice we never see his face before a nice build-up, still wide shot, and cutting to our character's reactions to him. Beautiful. And he's weird. Just weird. Like, pull over and physically throw him out, he's weird. It's more than the twitchiness in the birthmark face.
I was the killer!
He admits it.
Get out!
He takes Franklin's knife, cuts himself, cuts him, and still has the audacity to take his photo and demand money for it. Similar to those costumes in New York City Square. Careful, Mickey and Superman don't fuck around. So finally they throw him out.
Long-range plans and upsetting persons around you could make this a disturbing and unpredictable day.
Hindsight. American astrology? I didn't know we had one. Maybe that's why these kids are fucked. They swing by a gas station where there's no gas, but plenty of barbecue. A barbecue is people. I don't know, but probably. At their grandfather's house, we get this nice panning shot around them, still delivering that voyeuristic vibe.
Wonder if that means something.
It's the Mark of Zorro. He's gonna get you.
I believe that. Hairy Chest finds a corner of Daddy Longlegs, which looks creepy, but supposedly they do this in real life. For reasons I haven't been able to find an answer to online, but supposedly they huddled together to keep warm, or to keep protected because they can't spin their own webs. Or we can just say they're the dust sprites from My Neighbor Totoro. Imagine that movie. The house, in fact, has a lot of creepy hints littered around. A bone, a feather pile along with a doohickey, hidden old cars, odd decor, a generator, a random tooth, and a swing that clearly inspired the swing in Evil Dead. Hairy Chest and Bareback look for the swimming hole out back, but instead find another house. Inside, we see a rundown place with a very conspicuous red room with precisely arranged skulls.
Get the fuck out of here!
It's not long until... That was sudden. Ooh, man. The first kill is refreshing, sudden, and cruel, like a real prey and predator kind of situation. I mean, there's some subtle clues, but not a lot of build-up. The suddenness, in my opinion, kind of makes this a heck of a lot scarier. But because most movies do that, this more realistic style documentary-like movie feels more raw, more close to home, and therefore I feel strikes one's nerves more. Younger audiences are spoiled by being told more bluntly when to scream, and I'd imagine they'd watch this like, whoa, I sure wasn't ready for that. But I bet you they'd sure remember it for that reason. I mean, he comes and boom! What was that? That looked different. And next we get this cool, ominous, moving low shot following Bareback to the house. And it's also an obligatory booty shot. Enjoy, boys, before that piece of ass is gonna get dead. She stumbles in, and the environment is slowly revealed to hold a lot of macabre pieces. The added rainmaker or cicada sound effects add to the stressful situation. She understandably panics, but is pulled back in. I again refer to you to a trapdoor spider. This guy feels like a real predator. He drags her out back and ooh!
Brutality.
Just seeing the hook with great lighting and then seeing her reaction placed on it is perfect. I like to point out nowadays that we would see this hook pierce her skin, which quite frankly I think is just a less creative version of shock value. This shit is intense for the 70s. Jeez. And then this guy makes her watch while she chops up her boyfriend. And sorry parents, but video games are not to blame here. Unless you're gonna, blame Pong. The end of humanity! By the way, I should mention the killer's popular name is Leatherface, because he always wears masks made of human skin. Now, according to the director, wearing these masks helped him express himself and determine his personality. That's why he has a killer face, an old lady face, and a womanly face for when he feels like being domestic. Yeah, otherwise, I'd say Leatherface is like a wampa wearing a mask, screaming like a sandperson. Well now, Hexagon Glasses follows suit, hears weird noises, and can't put two and two together. Well, I guess I'm gonna cross him off the survivor list. He follows noises coming from a freezer. Again, sudden movement, how ill she looks, the sudden realization of terror, it works so well. Ugh. Meanwhile, Purple Shirt wants to do exactly what Hexagon Glasses just did, but Franklin wants to be smart. But she acts like a bitch, so they get going. I'd just like to note the lighting here. Only for one character as the sun sets, but it's very nice. So Franklin reluctantly goes with her until... I don't care anymore. You killed the only likable character. I don't care anymore, movie. I might as well just turn you right off. You still get to watch Leatherface, though? I guess. But jeez, this movie is brutal. Rest in peace, my four-wheeled superstar.
In the arms of the angel.
Okay, so we get a long chase sequence. Leatherface chases Purple Shirt through the woods, into his house, and out the house, to that gas station nearby, where of course we discover the gas guy is in on it as well. I knew I couldn't trust the barbecue. If you haven't noticed, the majority of the film's soundtrack from here on is Sally screaming. Little actions here, where the light clearly illuminates the gas guy's face as he prods the girl, clearly for sick, playful enjoyment, is telling of his character, as we soon discover, as well as his family.
Are you sure?
It's pretty amusing to see this little man just disciplining a big killer. It cracks me up.
You damn fool! You ruined the door!
But oh yes, the hitchhiker, gas guy, and Leatherface are family, who involve Purple Shirt in their family supper, which is a scene so iconic movies and games rip it off to this day. They even wheel in Grandpa, who looks fascinatingly like an animated corpse and still likes his action, if you know what I mean. She screams some more, they howl like wolves, and this headlamp is actually pretty creative. Because the family used to work in the slaughterhouse, they try to hammer in her head like cattle. And what a bonding moment. They try to get Grandpa in on the action.
Get her, Grandpa!
But this gives Purple Shirt time to escape. The two brothers give chase, but one goes quick, and the other takes a chainsaw to the knee. Insert Skyrim joke, I guess. One trucker tries to help her, but when Leatherface comes, he books it like, I'm a black guy in a horror flick. Fuck this! Another truck driver arrives, and she catches a ride with him, and we end on this beautiful shot. Oh, and what a classic. But is it still scary? Honestly, I think so. The sudden brutal kills feel all too real, the situation is creatively disgusting, and the film is shot beautifully. Speaking of shots, the camera work, despite the grotesque content, clearly has a lot of thought behind it. Example here, where Franklin sits while Bareback and Hairy Chest walk away. The light is carefully set on the stairs and Franklin, with darkness surrounding them, except for a lit exit where the two characters walk away becoming silhouettes. This shot allows us to see two characters continuing in action while we keep the focus on Franklin in the foreground looking very solemn. This whole shot by itself tells a story. Pretty good for a slasher film. Other shots that focus on the horror gets creative with a lot of quick shots, zooms, wide shots, and or close shots. Example here, when Purple Shirt snaps from fear, and the cuts convey her panic very well. And also, the fact that it's portrayed like a documentary makes its old film look seem like a stylistic choice rather than an obsolete picture quality. If you go for the gore genre with legit scares, then this flick is for you. Even if it has uncomfortable moments like taking the time to watch this father tie up that girl and gag her, Cinema Gold! Next you'll tell me the Oscar goes to the Guinea Pig series. And if you haven't heard of them, lucky you, don't look them up. But I know you will, because you're a sick, sick duck like me. Here's a scare recap. Subtle clues. The hidden cars, the news reports, the decor, the random tooth, no contrived way to build suspense, just signs in front of your face. Low angles and wide shots. They help build suspense, obscuring our view and giving that predator feeling like we're being hunted. The hitchhiker. Trapped in a car with someone clearly off his rocker and unpredictable, the acting here is debatably a talent, but it is effective. The sudden first kill. Quick and unexpected like real life. We even see the character spazzing from the head trauma. These little details are what make a scene effective. The freezer jump scare. A legit shocking image in quick motion that summons the bigger danger. The meat hook. In a very Hitchcockian way, it didn't need to show much, you just felt it. Grandpa. Just ew. Wonderful design. And Leatherface. Especially with the choice of masks and using practical everyday tools to kill, it's no wonder that it's simple ideas and designs that help mold together a very culturally iconic serial killer. And that's it for tonight. Next time we'll take a look at another piece that's even more grueling than this one. Join me next time for our... Oh darn.
I see things.